And I'm joined now by Senior Advisor for FTI Consulting, Aldo Flores is with us. And of course, Aldo is former Secretary General at the International Energy Forum. So it's great to have you. Great to have you back.
Thank you. Great to be here as well, and great to meet you again after a while.
And we have lots to discuss too, of course, and it's been a busy while, but we're thrilled that you're back here in Saudi Arabia. And being here for the last 2 days and listening to the dialogue, and you've listened to this over the years, of course, and been very much a part of it. I mean, how encouraged are you that we're on the right track? Or indeed, I think, some serious questions have been raised over the last couple of days as well.
The one thing that strikes me as very important about this exercise is that we've seen a mismatch between expectations and the reality of the market. So this dialogue helps a lot to exchange the views that will help narrow this mismatch. People are expecting a lot from climate change policies, but they can't deliver at the speed that people would want. So this brings some realism and pragmatism to the conversation.
And of course we see that around the world too, as different countries set their targets for, be it 2050, 2060, beyond. A lot of pressure on governments, a lot of pressure on industry to actually take action. And I do think too that a lot of action is being taken. But again, I think what we've seen in Europe this year too, would you say that that has maybe woken people up a little bit about the fact that maybe, as many CEOs are saying, that energy transition may be a little more difficult and a little longer than some people expect?
Well, not only more difficult, a little bit longer, very difficult and much longer than people thought it would be. And this also has been very telling of the difficulty of crafting policy that works. One message we heard here in the 2 days is that policy has been very confusing, that the signals are not clear. And companies need the clarity in order to invest for the long term. That has yet to happen. And again, greater conversation, more exchange of views, so there's better understanding what the issues are, would be much more welcome for this process to evolve the way it should.
Now, of course, investment has been a huge concern over the years in this industry, but right now I think companies are looking at a two-tier investment system, and this has got to be hard. I mean, there's a narrative out there saying that you're going to be out of business in a few years to the IOCs, and then there's the other side that it's supply us with energy now, but save the world for the future. How do you think companies can actually navigate that two-tier investment system at the moment?
My view is that the main challenge companies are beginning to face is that the terms for accessing funding are changing very fast. The movement toward the ESG agenda, toward environmentally, socially, and corporate responsibility has been such that it is getting harder to fund projects in the hydrocarbon sector. And that is a challenge because we know that markets are very tight and we still need that funding in order to get to the other side of a cleaner energy sector. So we can only expect, unless there is a change, a little bit more turbulence.
Now, looking back over the years, you've certainly been looking at the outlooks for many, many years in the energy sector too. And when we look at this outlook now, here we are, 2022, IEA, IEF, OPEC. I mean, have you seen over the years that there's a sense of maybe convergence in the outlook, that some of it is beginning to look maybe a little similar, or are we still miles away in terms of what we do? And you worked through this yourself, but where's the ongoing purpose in making sure that we compare and contrast?
Well, the striking thing right now is that the difference in outlooks between the scenarios, between the most optimistic and least optimistic, is over 100 million barrels per day, which is larger than the market today. That means a lot of uncertainty. So this narrowing is not exactly happening because we're in this transition and there's very different views about what is going on. And so what we saw is a very high difficulty right now in zeroing in and lowering the divide between these different perspectives.
And And of course, it's great that you're always here supporting the International Energy Forum, as we would only expect from a former Secretary General, of course. But talk to us again, the long-term vision, and we have Joe McMoneagle, of course, at the helm right now, driving it forward. But do you see the importance of the IEF growing as years go by?
Without a doubt, and Joe has been a great leader so far. He's innovating. We are seeing new subjects, we're seeing new formats, and it's great that the IEF is moving in this direction. In a transition, like the one we're talking about, producers and consumers should be talking with more intensity, they should engage more, and this is a platform to get there. And I'm very happy to have seen, not only in these days, but in the news, that many people are beginning to acknowledge that and to see that this is the way to go.